Hi, I'm Ed Alexander, business attorney and founder of Alexander Abramson. Welcome back to our partnership video series. In today's video, we're going to talk about adding a partner. Now, there's a couple of different ways to add a partner, right? You can get somebody from the outside, you can get an employee from the inside. And those are broken down into two different pieces. Somebody from the outside, as long as they're not related to you or have no significant relationships, the deal that you put together is going to be what's known as an arm's length transaction, where the value that is exchanged is based on the deal that you make between the two parties. Now, of course, we can't have a situation where we have a going concern business and the parties agree, hey, there's no value, I'm just going to give you a 50% interest in the company. Because effectively that is a grant of income, or that's an exchange of value. And there would be some tax ramifications associated with that. And so it's important that when anybody comes into the business, that when they come in, there's a recognition of the value of the current business and that the value itself impacts the transaction. So let me give you an example. Let's just say that we have a service business, and the service business is worth $150,000. And so I'm going to bring on a key employee as an owner of that business because they have been performing so well, and I want them to be a 20% owner. As a general rule, right, we're going to bring them on and we're going to have to figure out, number one, what is the equity of that business worth? And number two, how do we get that employee to come on board in a way that doesn't cause a tax problem? And so what are the tax problems? Well, if I were to pay an employee $30,000, obviously there would be a pretty significant tax effect that we would have to do FICA, so the employer portion of the tax. We'd have to withhold the employee's portion of both that and kind of income tax withholding. And so there would be a big cash payment that would have to be made to the government as a result of that. And so in this case, what we need to do is we either have to have the employee buy in, or we have to have some cash available to pay the taxes associated with granting an employee what might be worth $30,000. Now, there's a whole issue associated with, well, what is the value of that equity in light of what the value of the business is? And we'll talk about that in the next video. But for now, understand that we can't just give an employee equity in the business because there could be a major tax problem. That's one. The second point to keep in mind is that when that employee gets that equity, it's a property item of that employee. So we can't require the employee to sell that to us or give it back to us unless we have a contract in place. And so it's very important that at the same time that we do the transaction, that we also have a written operating agreement or a written shareholders agreement that outlines the circumstances under which you can get that stock or equity back, as well as what the requirements are for that person to continue to be an owner. Okay, in our next video, we'll talk a little bit about the valuation issues associated with bringing on an equity partner. If you're planning a new business partnership, or if you have an existing partnership and don't have a partnership agreement or haven't reviewed that partnership agreement in a long time, call or email us to set up your partnership design session. We'll walk you through these 21 areas and set up a comprehensive partnership agreement that works for your business and that will enhance its value. Thanks for watching.